Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to weekly check in for the second week of my January monthly budget. I am all ready to go and I can't wait to check in for this week just because I think it was more days than usual since I did go on a trip last weekend from Saturday until Monday. Me, Paul, my sister, and Joel, her husband, ended up going to Big Bear, so that kind of made my weekly check-in a little bit weird. Typically I like to check in from Monday to Sunday, but this time around I'm going to be checking in from Saturday the 9th all the way until Sunday the 17th. So that's a little bit over a week. Not too bad actually, but it just feels like a long time. So it's going to be, like I mentioned, from the 9th until the 17th, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down all of my budget expense stickers, which I have right here, as well as I will be counting the cash that I have left over in all of my cash envelopes, weekly check-in with those, and let you guys in on how much money I've spent for my sinking funds as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, if you guys didn't watch last week's video, week 1, then you wouldn't know this, but I now keep all of my cash envelope trackers in my pocket planner. I made a whole video about this. You guys should definitely check it out to see what it is that I have. But as you guys can see, I have the trackers for like groceries, household, eating out, allowance, gas, beauty, all of that good stuff. So all of my cash envelope trackers are in here now, which I find that's a lot more convenient than keeping them in my micro happy notes as I did last time, although I did keep them in there for quite some time. I feel like for over a year. So I guess before we start actually checking in here, well, I can write down my categories. So I like to weekly check in for all of my cash envelopes. So of course, like I mentioned, we have groceries, household, eating out, which completely misspelled that, but don't mind that, allowance, beauty, gas, and I do have a section for any unbudgeted expenses just in case something comes up. I also do have this new kind of rollover column here in my weekly check-ins, which I'm not going to use for the rest of the month. Typically I only stuff my cash envelopes once, but if let's say you're a bi-weekly budgeter, then you would stuff your cash envelopes twice. If you're a weekly budgeter, you would stuff them every week. So I think this is very beneficial to those of you who do roll over money. I only end up doing it the first week, which is still very much beneficial to me, so that's why I like it this way. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback from this new weekly check-in layout, so we're going to keep it like this for the foreseeable future. So now that I have those categories written out, I'm going to bring you guys to my monthly view, which is where I track all of my expenses. I track everything from cash envelopes. As you guys can see, I have a little key here to let me know which color means which category, as well as I track bills, paydays, and even no spend days. I like to track all of that because I feel like tracking no spend days really hypes me up and motivates me to keep having more no spend days. So that's the reason why I like to track everything in here. The first transaction that I have on the 9th is I spent $5 for my allowance cash envelope. Me and Paul ended up going to Goodwill and I found this really cute shirt for $5. So I just ended up picking that up with my allowance cash envelope, which I could have totally used my clothing sinking fund, but honestly I didn't have my clothing cash envelope with me and I just thought it's okay, we'll just take it out of allowance. And then we had Cane's right before we drove up the mountain to go to Big Bear. So Cane's has a pink sticker, as you guys can see, that's eating out, and that was $19. This week was Paul's turn to pay for groceries. So I actually don't have any grocery expenses, which is really great. And I think I will be able to decrease my grocery spending. I mean, there's a lot of factors as to why I think that, and we'll get to the weekly check-in. I guess I'll talk about it then, but yeah, I'm very hyped about that. No expenses on the 10th or the 11th from my cash envelopes, right? But on the 12th, I had quite a bit. I actually bought some things with my beauty cash envelope and my household. So first I'm going to lay down one of these teal stickers because I ended up buying some hair dye. Ever since the pandemic started, I started buying hair dye from Amazon since Sally's was closed. And honestly, I have not gone back to like actually physically buying it at Sally's. So I bought my hair dye and I spent $30 on the 12 from Amazon. I also noticed that I didn't have any more shampoo, or I was running low, because since I now dye my hair in more of a coppery color, I need a different shampoo because the shampoo that I have is, the old one that I have is red and I need more of like a copper shade. So I ended up buying shampoo also with my beauty cash envelope. And then from household, I ended up buying some organizers for my kitchen, for like the drawers and the pantry and all of that, because I really want to organize that as much as I can since I'm going to be filming an apartment tour this month. Like finally, I've been saying that since I've moved in August, but we're going to be filming a pretty much fully furnished apartment tour this month. So that's all that I spent on the 12th. And then I don't think there was anything else from the 13th all the way until the 17th. I've been busy this past week with March new releases and with our anniversary sale, which by the time you guys are watching this video, the anniversary sale is done. My shop actually turned 2 years, and I just can't believe that time has gone by so fast. And I'm honestly shook at the amount of orders and the amount of support that you guys always give me. So I'm definitely going to be very busy fulfilling all of those orders, which I think is a good thing because that obviously doesn't give me time to go out or to like shop or buy stuff or anything like that. So I guess being busy is good for my budget, but I just wanted to come on here and say thank you to everyone who purchased anything during the anniversary sale. But yeah, I'm gonna be very busy. The last day that I actually had expenses was yesterday, the 17th. I ended up going to, well, first let me lay down this yellow sticker, which this yellow sticker means an other category aside from my cash envelopes, which this time around was Costco membership. So as I mentioned, I was going to get a Costco membership this month, and so my part of that was $30, and we ended up getting that on the 17th just because I completely forgot that I mentioned that I was going to get it this month and I still haven't gotten it. So got it on the 17th. And then I went over to my parents' house. Oh, my dad made like Cajun shrimp. It was so good. And then after dinner, we went to Tierra Mia. So I spent $10 there. And that's coming out of eating out. And then we went to Target. It was like a whole trip to Tierra Mia and Target right before they closed. But at Target, I finally bought some foundation because I realized that the foundation I have is way too dark for my skin right now. And that has to do with the fact that I don't go out at all. And I've had that foundation for like months. So I ended up buying one of the, if you guys are wondering, it was $6. It's one of the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. The matte and poreless one. I really like that one. I like mixing it with this other one, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to film a Q&A get ready with me soon, just like chatting up with you guys and answering your questions. So if you have any specific questions that you guys would like me to answer in that video, go ahead and let me know. I'll probably ask a couple more times before I actually film that video, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that I have a foundation that actually matches my skin color now. So I think those are all the expenses I've made this past week. Yes, I have not pumped gas yet, but I think I'm actually going to get my nails done today, and I think I might have to pump gas today, which is good because I haven't pumped gas once yet. So now that we have laid down all of our stickers, I'm going to lay down, does my payday sticker fit in there? I'm hoping that it does, but if it doesn't, it's okay. Let's see. Because my shop gets paid on Tuesday. That works. Okay. And then how many no spend days do we have? Oh, I think we have quite a bit of them. Really good. So although I didn't spend any more money from The 10th and the 11th, those days were on my trip to Big Bear, so I didn't spend any money from my cash envelopes, but I did spend a little bit from my adventure sinking fund, which is kind of like my traveling fund that I have. So you guys, I'll show you guys in a second all of that. But I had a pretty chill time if you guys are wondering about Big Bear. I tried to film, I filmed a quick little vlog, nothing too crazy, because we actually didn't do many things. We mainly wanted to stay in the cabin at all times. Oh wait, I don't know why I'm putting this here, but in total, this last week, I had 6 no-spend days, which is crazy. So 6 out of what, 9 days? That's not bad at all. So now that I've laid down all of those stickers, I'm going to move on to my weekly check-in spread. And since we already wrote out all of our categories, I can go ahead and just move right along. So first off, I actually, like I mentioned, don't have or didn't spend any money for groceries last week. Most of the groceries that I bought were for the trip, so I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm going to be like perfect with my groceries cash envelope. So it wasn't that I didn't buy groceries, it was more that the Adventures Thinking Fund took care of the groceries for the Big Bear trip, and we had leftover groceries after that. So I'm not going to be changing my groceries budgeted amount just yet. I feel like I'm going to wait at least until February to kind of move that around. But remaining, I have $179 left, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up purchasing groceries this week, and then I'll probably help for the last week. It's kind of how we like to go about it. So $179 left for groceries. Then next we have household, which I did spend $33 for some organizers. So $33 here. And last week we had $86. So that means that I still have $53 here. Which, let me count my cash. So for groceries, like I mentioned, I have $179 in here. So yeah, 50, 100, 150, 75, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So $179 for groceries. I'm still going to try to spend the least amount of money though this month, just so it could help me out and so I can really be able to make that extra debt payment that I want to this month towards my student loans. But then for household, we have $53. So that's 20, 40, 51, 2, and 3 for household. And I think that's a pretty good amount to have. We're kind of halfway towards the month, I would say, and I budgeted 100. And I think we have to buy at this time like probably detergent, maybe like wipes, stuff like that. So I think I'm doing pretty good with that amount, even though I lowered it from last month. So that's for household. Then for eating out, I have 2. I have one for Cane's of $19 and one of Tiramia for $10, which I can check off my student loans. That payment already came out. So that is a total of $29 spent for eating out. And I had 92 remaining last week, so that means that I have $63 remaining. Like so. My eating out cash envelope. Also, just a quick heads up, if you guys are interested in purchasing cash envelopes, I'm actually coming out with some new vinyls this week, so stay tuned. Probably follow me on Instagram if you guys are interested in cash envelope restock updates, all of that. But let's see, we have 63, so 20, 40, 61, 2, and 3 for eating out. So then for allowance, I spent $5 at Goodwill. And for the most part, like I've mentioned before, I don't spend a lot for my allowance cash envelope, which is good because I'm trying to roll it over to my allowance thinking fund. So then that way, since next month is my birthday, I can buy myself something. I don't know what I'm saving for, but last week we had 73 remaining. So now we have 68 in my allowance cash envelope, which I've been thinking if I should keep track of all of my allowance purchases. I feel like if I do, it keeps it very organized and I know exactly how much money I'm transferring to my allowance sinking fund cash envelope. But I don't know, because I know a lot of people don't track allowance because obviously it's like your allowance, you can do whatever you want with it. But I like being organized like this. I don't know if I'm weird, but we have 50, 55, 60, 65, 66, 67, and $68 in allowance. So, and then we have beauty, which I did have 3 expenses. So shampoo 24, foundation that's 30, and 30 more. That's a total of $60 spent for beauty this week, which I mentioned the last week how much money I have in here just because of different things like me rolling over money from last month because I didn't end up getting my lashes done that last time, as well as I haven't gone to get my nails done yet. I'm actually going to go right now after this video. But so what I'm trying to do as of now is kind of stock up on things that I need that I wouldn't necessarily have money for in other months because I only budget a certain amount, and that's kind of what I did with like the shampoo, a foundation, all of that. I still have to check if I am all good with everything else that I use because I do want to start getting ready for the most part at least every day. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, last week I had remaining $259, so that means that I now should have $199, which I'm sure half of that will go towards my nails, so we will be a-okay, or I will be a-okay. So for beauty I should have $199 at 50, 100, 50, 70, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99 for beauty. And then the last envelope that I like to weekly check in for is gas, which I've been mentioning how I haven't had an expense for that. So that is going to be 0. And no red sticker, so no unbudgeted expenses either, so that is also going to be 0. The only difference is that I do have a budgeted amount for gas, so that will just stay the same, and I'm just going to write a dash for unbudgeted because I don't budget anything for that category necessarily. And then I just have the same $60 I had since the very beginning of the month, so 20, 40, 50, and 60, which, like I mentioned, I'm going to pump right now, so it's good that I'm at least using this once. I mean, I would hope so, right? But yeah, so now what I'm going to do here is, I was thinking of just making like a line, but I think that might just look awkward, so I'm just gonna make dashes really quick because there was no rollover amount there. That looks pretty good to me. So that is going to be pretty much it for the weekly check-in part of this video, checking in with my cash envelopes and all of that. Now I'm going to bring you guys to my sinking funds because I did have a couple of transactions from my sinking funds here. And I like to have them right next to each other since they're pretty much separate than what's in my budget, what's in my monthly view, and all of that. They're completely separate from everything. They're like small little savings that I've been accumulating money for as the months have gone by. So since the last time that we saw each other, I think it was right here, I had another expense for adventures, well, a couple from the 10th until the 11th for $35. Every time, I mentioned this in that vlog, in that Big Bear vlog, but every time I go anywhere, I travel or just go to a different city, I like to pick up some sort of souvenir, preferably a magnet. I have a collection of different ones that I've purchased in Italy when I studied abroad, as well as a couple from the States here. And so I ended up getting a souvenir from Big Bear, as well as we went on some slides on Monday the 11th, and that was really fun. So that was a total of $35 that also came out of my adventure sinking fund. And one fund that I'm very thankful for is that adventure sinking fund this month, just because without me saving for that specific fund, I wouldn't have had the money to do all these things and to go on a trip with my family. So I'm very, very glad and thankful that I've had, you know, the extra money to put into that sinking fund, as well as that I didn't have to spend or add this to my budget, because I know that I definitely would have made it out of whack. So that's another one of the reasons why I really like sinking funds, and I really push you guys to start them whenever you can for whichever categories mean the most to you. So that was it for adventures. And then the last sinking fund that I spent money from was my gift sinking fund. We actually had a birthday for my friend this past week, so on the 12th we ended up buying a gift card. So me and Paul split that. I paid $15 for that, and so it just says that it's for Savannah. This gifts category prior to this was only for birthdays, but I changed the name just in case I have friends that, I don't know, have like baby showers or like anniversary presents and all of that. I thought that it'd be better to categorize this as gifts rather than just birthdays. So that is where this money came out of. So those were all of the transactions that I've made this past week from my sinking funds. And then the last little section that I'll show you guys before I go will be my variable income page, which I've had a couple of transactions like shipping this past week that I was charged for. On 12, I spent $10 because I had this contest for my patrons, and one of the prizes was a Starbucks gift card, so I ended up sending that on the 12th. These are all business expenses, by the way, from these sources right here, if you guys are wondering. And then last but not least, I got charged my Simply Gilded subscription, which I think that I am now ready to cancel it, which is crazy because I've been saying how I had been grandfathered into the pricing from like a year, 2 years ago, and I only paid, I think, $29 with shipping, and I believe she has now increased her prices, so $41.83, I think for me is kind of too much. And I completely forgot because I think you can now switch it from like just stickers or washies, and I think I forgot because I was kind of busy with new releases. So when I saw that charge in my bank account, I really thought it through, and I think I'm going to cancel my Simply Gilded subscription, which is going to be good. It's going to be, you know, around $42 that I'm not spending on that anymore, and that I can put towards my debt, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to really focus on my financial goals for this year and try to pay off my student loans. So that's kind of what's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. But yeah, those are all of my business expenses for my variable sources of income here. And with that being said, I think that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed coming along and checking in for my week 2 of my January monthly budget. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already. I'm finally going to be filming my 20k subbies giveaway, so make sure you stay tuned for that video. And hopefully I will get to see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.